Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for joining. I'm Jennifer Bagley, CEO of CI Web Group, and today we're going to be talking about how to do the right things in the right order at the right time. Obviously, as business continues to evolve, consumer buying habits continue to trend towards digital and online. Now's the time to be able to really understand how each of our decisions impact our business and how to start thinking about that prioritization when we're making those decisions so that we can essentially create better results on the flip side. So let's get started. So real quick, I want to make sure you guys know where to access this information at. So when you're on the Johnstone Supply website, this is going to be under breakouts, entrepreneurship, and you're going to choose doing the right things in the right order at the right time by Jennifer Bagley with CI Web Group. That's me. Everything that I'm covering in today's presentation, you can find right here in on this specific page. So it'll make it really easy for you to be able to get back to and get access to any of those resources that we're covering today. First and foremost, we've got a little kind of cheat sheet here to give you an idea of some of those elements that we need to better prioritize. And there's decision making, obviously, pros and cons about our priority structure with all of these elements. There are also restrictions, be it financial, be it time, be it resources, be it experience. So we're going to have to ebb and flow in between those possible restrictions and understand the difference between those things that actually are restrictions and those things that maybe are just mental restrictions, things we've convinced ourselves that are holding us back versus those things that are actually holding us back. So first and foremost, when we're talking about doing the right things in the right order at the right time, we have to be able to bucket these into different silos and understand how they're connected, how they're dependent, how they're interdependent, and how they rely on each other in order to be able to properly function. For example, most of you probably built your first website without having any of the legal requirements that are necessary for a website. Privacy policy, copyright, and so forth. Most of you probably started off as an entrepreneur hiring your first staff without having an HR department or without having the legal documents that were necessary for a 1099 or a W-2. And many of you started accepting money before having a software solution to be able to actually track those receivables and expenses, such as QuickBooks. Many people started their business with a website that they've built themselves instead of a professional one. Many started their business and started investing in marketing, even though their website was something that technically was in violation of Google's requirements. Some started investing in search engine optimization, yet have a content or have a website with no content that can be optimized. You see, every piece of this matters. Just met with the dealer last week who's been paying $2,500 a month for search engine optimization on a website that's not secure. These are all elements that I realize are difficult to process as far as they're kind of like oh, by the way, wow, I didn't think of that. But in reality, they're really important to understand. So if we're going to make a decision to be that entrepreneur full of grit who hires the first set of people, not necessarily with the right contracts in place, or who does anything that we feel is out of necessity, at least we understand what our risk is, and we have a plan to put those things into place sooner than later. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start down here with this presentation, and then we're going to move back and forth in between the chart of necessities, the 12-step roadmap to achieve accelerated results, and then of course back to the presentation. You guys can find our company at ciwebgroup.com. You can easily send us a text message or give us a ring at 877-839-1122. If you guys have questions at all or just want to set up a strategy session and do an audit of your business and kind of make sure that we're doing the right things in the right order at the right time. Now, that being said, this is a roadmap. It's called the 12-step roadmap to achieve accelerated results. And it is a great example of how important it is to do the right things in the right order at the right time. And let me give you some examples. Okay. If I have a website that I've built myself that violates Google's requirements, there's duplicate content, it's insecure, it loads extremely slow, it's built with tables or tabular data, or it's filled with widgets and iframes, all of these different elements, and there's hundreds more, but I go invest in search engine optimization, I'm basically lighting my cash on fire like a bonfire. Instead of melting marshmallows, I'm melting my cash, right? If I have a beautiful website that's properly set up, designed well, developed well, and in compliance with Google's requirements, but I'm missing content, search engine optimization doesn't work without content. So if I don't have a content strategy in place, but I invest in SEO, again, we have an issue where we're going to be burning through cash, not getting results, not because SEO doesn't work, but because we didn't do the right things in the right order. Let's say we have a great website, amazing content. We're sitting on page one of Google. The SEO team is doing their job and my phone's not ringing. It's quite possible that we missed step 3, conversion technology and conversion systems and conversion strategies, and or step 5, we neglected to make sure that we were acquiring positive reviews on a regular basis in the proper prominent places where consumers are searching prior to making a decision to reach out. Each one of these elements it has a cause and effect, right? The effect is essentially that we're burning through cash, burning through time, burning through resources, and not getting the results of our time, money, resources, or investments as a whole. The cause is not understanding or failing to implement the right things in the right order at the right time. I've seen so many companies jump into their business and want the easy button, the McDonald's drive-through version, the ability to launch a crummy website, jump into a pay-per-click plan, and just think that it's going to generate leads. And typically they burn through thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars before they figure out that wasn't the best idea, or this isn't working, or I'm frustrated. Maybe they blame it on the marketing company or whatever, when in reality, it's just simply not doing the right things in the right order at the right time. There are many companies that I've heard start conversations, business owners, and they'll say, well, every marketing company says the same thing. Well, it's not rocket science to be able to grow a business. There are things that you should identify as your unique selling proposition and the makeup of your brand to make you stand out from everyone else. What is your promise, right? What should I do business with you? What makes you unique? How are you completely different than every other heating and air conditioning company? Those are absolutely things that should differentiate your business. And then there are things where differentiation is not necessarily a good thing. If you look at the majority of strong companies, they have all the same things in common, at least most of them. They're sitting on page 1 of Google. They have websites that are designed, structured, and marketed pretty much the same. They focus on the 12-step roadmap. They've launched these elements in the right order, or if not, eventually got there. They have heavy concentration on content, on customer care and happiness ratings, on customer retention, referrals, and rewards. Strong emphasis on being on page 1 of Google for all of the search terms that consumers are looking for. And they want to make it easy for people to do business with them, right? These business owners have tenacity and grit and figure out how to hire amazing vendors and amazing people and how to motivate them through positivity to be able to grow their business. So let's go through and figure out what are some of the things that might be holding us back. Let's talk a little bit about the entrepreneur mindset, just to increase the heightened level of awareness when it comes to our personality styles and how we think and how that impacts our business. You see, people typically have 4 different mindsets. You have the everything's a problem mindset. Problems, problems, problems. The economy is a problem. Politics are part of the problem. Everything. My family is the problem. My team is the problem. My employees are the problem, right? I don't have enough money. I have staffing issues. I'm not profitable. I can't. I'm stuck, right? I don't have anything growing. COVID's an issue. Whatever all of the problems are, that's a mindset. That typically leads to a lack of growth, lack of evolution, and really just an unsettling feeling internally and externally with everyone that they do business with. Those personality profiles tend to generate the same results, and often that means a lack of results. Next, the fixed mindset. This is the way I've done it. This is the way I've always done it. This is the way it will always be. I'm going to demand this of the vendors that I work with. I'm going to terminate them without cause. I'm just going to keep moving through and plowing through vendor after vendor after vendor to try and find some magic pill. Often this is big time discounts, trying to go after heavy discounts, heavy promotions, don't necessarily have the same or have a huge amount of love and appreciation for the values that they bring to the table, therefore charging accordingly. This also may be people that are not going to pull the trigger on things they know they should do, right? My business coach said, if I could only get you to do the things you already know you should, you'd consider me a genius, right? That's it. It's what you've got to do. You already know you should, but not pulling the trigger on those necessities. This is also the rocking chair syndrome, always being busy, never going anywhere. I'm too busy to take time to plan and implement the things that are necessary to grow my business. And again, this is the way we've always done it. Fixed mindsets are often stuck and sitting in a no growth plan. Now you have the growth mindset, those who keep pressing on, those who plan on building a new website every 2 years, those who talk to people and get feedback, who have a lot of communication with people. They're trying to figure it out, right? They're running promotions, they're testing to see what works. These are also those who start attending training. They start trying to acquire knowledge. They're asking questions. Sometimes they get overwhelmed. Maybe they don't have enough people. They start selling leads. And then you have the innovative mindset. The innovative mindset is looking to take advantage of the situation, who is saying, this is the opportunity for my business to stand out, right? This is when I start setting myself apart from everyone else. I'm going to launch a virtual sales team. I'm going to launch an e-commerce platform. I'm going to launch a strong marketing plan. While everyone else is contracting and pulling back, I'm going to go for the gutso and try and take over all of the opportunities that are presenting themselves because of the contraction of those who are scared or nervous or fearful of what's happening. They implement automation. They look for ways to be able to automate duplicate processes, inefficiencies, gaps in their process. How can I leverage technology to be less reliant on people so that I can get things done, right? They start close and they build strong and they grow from there. These are the ones who take over their market and then expand into adjoining markets. They implement strategies, they implement e-commerce, they implement new technology. These are the ones who are not afraid of being different than everyone else. They're not afraid of publicly showcasing their pricing online. They're not afraid of competition. They're excited about it. Our mindset definitely changes where we are in our business, but we've got to remember that we don't have a lot of time to go through and figure out who we are and modify our mindset to produce a different result. See, life is fast, right? If I took our lives of our business and of ourselves and I put it on a measuring tape and you start tearing off, imagine having a paper measuring tape that's 100 inches long. And I'm going to tear off being a child. I'm going to tear off going to school. I'm going to tear off finding love and raising children. Tear all of that off and move it to the left. On the right-hand side of the measuring tape, I'm going to tear off the moments that I find myself caring for parents or my own retirement. And I'm just going to leave the little window that I have to build a business, to build a financial base, to build a future, to build a legacy. This moment of freedom to build, right? And when you look at it on a measuring tape, it's actually not that much time, right? It's not that much time that we have to dedicate to building and growing this business, which is going to provide you with the very thing that you sought out to get in the beginning, which is more time, more freedom, more funds, money, right? That's why we did this. That's why we dedicated ourselves to entrepreneurship, is so that we would have more time, money, and freedom. So knowing that this window is much tighter than we kind of blindly walk through life thinking, it will become ever more important for us to understand and ensure that we are able to compress time, doing the right things in the right order at the right time, make smarter decisions, acquire information from better educators. Instead of acting like we know everything, pretend like we know nothing so that we can learn more. I've seen businesses who have surpassed an aging business of 15 or 20 years in less than a 2-year time frame. Why? Because they learned how to compress time. They learned how to leverage technology, how to implement the right things in the right order at the right time, how to compress time so that they could achieve accelerated results compared to those who maybe are on a hamster wheel and continuing to start over. This is an example of a company right now that we watched launch their business. They had no experience in heating and air conditioning and no experience in marketing. They just had some tenacity, some talent, some grit, the ability to have some sleepless nights, surrounded by extremely good vendors. And we were able to watch them grow their business, tripling their business year over year over year. And I'm not talking about gross revenue, I'm talking about net profits. First off, they started with a domain, email, and a phone number that they owned and that was easy to manage. They used G Suites, Google, they used Google domains to set up their email. They signed up with the G Suite account. They had all of their functionality and technology instantaneously. Bought a couple Chromebooks for a few of the staff, which was mainly friends and family in the beginning. Next, they set up a killer website right out of the gate. There was only 3 people in this company, all family, and instantaneously they looked like they had a business that was a 100 truck company. They looked like a company who could demand a high price tag. They immediately invested in a tremendous amount of content, went straight into search engine optimization. Within 6 months, we're sitting on page 1 of Google for over 150 search phrases, focused on link building through press releases, community involvement, posting job postings for new technicians on local colleges and institutions, getting a couple links on .gov sites, and having news articles written up for their community service. Implemented conversion tools. You had the ability to call them, you could text them, you could schedule online, you could shop online, you can request, you could get pricing online, you could sign up for filters on auto delivery online, you could sign up for a maintenance agreement online, you could buy a tune-up online, you could access all their promotions online. They gave consumers every opportunity you can to be able to convert with them, to be able to do business with them, morning, noon, and night, regardless of day or time, in any format that the consumer wanted, not that they wanted. They implemented an automation campaign that allowed top of mind marketing to help drive their referral business faster than anyone else I have ever seen. We automated sending gifts to new customers. We automated sending birthday cards to new customers. We automated sending holiday brownies and cakes to new customers. And then they continued to customize their website and their business over time. These guys didn't invest anything into paid advertising. They went straight into organic marketing through content, SEO, and a strong website, and to taking the best care of those customers, staying top of mind, creating that unique selling proposition, rewarding referrals, and just rewarding people for being a client. The notes from their customers often included the word love. I know how that feels, because when we get a client that says CI Web Group has mastered the customer service process, I love working with CI Web Group. I know how that feels. That's the difference in having a customer and having a loyalist, a referral source who's going to send you referrals forever, who becomes a part of your sales organization, but is not on payroll. If it costs you $10 a year to make sure that they have a birthday card, make sure that they have a birthday card and a cake, make sure that they have a Christmas card, and that they get a letter in the mail with some popcorn and something else a couple times a year, it's a lot less expensive than hiring new people. Bottom line is, the ability to compress time is really, really important. In order to do that, in order to start doing the right things in the right order at the right time, we got to understand what we're doing right now. We have to figure out, what do we keep doing? What do we stop doing? And what do we start doing? This is also referred to as MOLO, or more of, less of. Keep doing, start doing, stop doing. Keep doing, stop doing, start doing. This is a strategy that will help you acquire more time, more money, and more freedom. What do you keep doing? If something is working, do more of it. If you invest in content and SEO and all of a sudden you start getting more leads, you're like, wow, I never got called for Douglas before, and now I'm getting calls. Or I never got called in that town or city, and now I'm getting calls. Do it again. Pick a new product, pick a new service, pick a new city. Do it again. Invest in more content, invest in more SEO, get found, right? Get yourself ranked in another area. If you find your social media, when you boosted a post, started to drive new tune-up leads, do it again. If you find yourself having a better relationship with your vendors or your team by being positive and motivating and excited instead of scared, mean, angry, or argumentative. Be that. Be the person that people want to work for, right? Ask more questions. If you asked a question to the right person, which that's a skill in itself. We're quite good at asking Uncle Harry about money and he's been broke for years, or divorced Aunt Sally about love and she's had 4 husbands, right? Ask better questions to better people. If your customers are asking for you to do something different, or if you're hearing from industry experts that consumer trends are changing, if you're paying attention to those trends and realizing that consumers want virtual sales appointments, they want you to present to them virtually. They want you to ask them the right questions on a Zoom meeting. They want you to present a good, better, best, and bestest option, right? Virtually. I just made that word up. I'm just saying. If they want to be able to communicate with you at 2:00 in the morning, because that's when they get to their honey to-do list, or that's when their life slows down enough to take care of their personal list, then give them the ability to convert through an AI chatbot, right? Stop doing. If something's not working, stop. If you've had a website and invested in a marketing plan and it's been a year and you're not making any progress, sit down and have a strategy session and figure out, do you need to stop? Do you need to tweak it? Do you need to change it? What do you need to do? And if you've done that a number of times and it's still not working, then stop and go somewhere else. Understand the difference between, for example, if I bought a website and think it's going to grow and my phone's going to ring, don't keep rebuilding websites over and over and over again, because websites themselves are not marketing tools. It's a repository for new leads that come to your site because of marketing and advertising efforts, or because you brought them there, right? It's not a marketing tool. It's the extension. It's the home page. It's the landing place. It's your business digitally. Marketing is what drives them there. So you've got to know what's the difference. I've seen hundreds of companies buy 15, 20 websites over and over and over and keep saying they're not working. No, it's not that the website's not working. You're not marketing the website. You don't have a marketing plan. You buy a website, you sign up for hosting and maintenance, right? Stop doing that. Start investing in the things that are working. Content, SEO, advertising, marketing, these things. So stop doing things that are not helping you. Number one, making excuses, not sleeping, eating out, eating garbage, being afraid of technology, being afraid of change, saying we've always done it that way. It's just not how it works, right? In 2020, 82% of the entire population in the United States has an Amazon Prime account. That's more subscriptions than anything else, including church or gun owners, right? Consumers are going to evolve. And in fact, you and your family are probably evolving as well. But somehow in our business, people get stuck into, this is how we run a business, or I'm going to watch how other people are doing it. Watch how consumers are changing. Watch how they're evolving. Watch how their interest in transparency, their despise for advertising, their willingness to pay a premium price for convenience, for ease of time, for amazing value. They're willing to pay for those things. They want their lives to be easier. So they're trying to get dealers to take money from them on a monthly basis just to make their lives easier. Take this burden off my plate as a homeowner, right? Start doing. What's next? So keep doing whatever's working, do more of it. Stop doing, if it's not working, reallocate it to something that is. Hey, if you're currently sending your clients to Amazon to go buy their filters, why would you do that? We'll give you a free system you can install on your website that allows your customers to buy filters from you on auto ship, and you don't have to touch it. It's just free income. Increases your MRR, your monthly recurring revenue. Start doing. What's next? What am I not doing yet that I should be doing? Do you have one page for every service you want to sell? Do you have one page for every city you want to sell? Do you have pages on your website that look like trash? They're empty, lack of content. There's no promotions. There's no good pictures. There's no good video. Well, you got some filler stuff to do. We need to take those pages and increase the content. Why? Because that's how consumers find you. They find you because you have a page that's filled with content and information and images and video related to what they want to buy or the question that they have. And we market that page so that they can find it online, right? If you're not selling your filters on auto ship, UV lights on auto ship, now's the time. If not allowing customers to purchase online or request a quote or get an estimate of what something's going to cost, now's the time. If we're not offering online scheduling, now's the time. If we don't allow someone to sign up for that maintenance subscription or pay for their tune-up online, now is the time. If we're not focused on e-commerce, reputation management, creating video, now is the time. Now is the time that we pick our businesses up and bring them into the current century, because it's not going to stop evolving. Consumers are going to continue to demand more. They're going to continue to want your business to be more technology friendly, to be able to answer questions 24/7, to be able to find pricing online, to be able to sign up for what they want, to be able to pay online, to be presented to online. They're going to continue to want all of these things. That is going to continue to grow. It is shown in the marketplace year over year over year, century over century, that is evolving even faster now. What normally took a decade to produce in as far as technology trends and changes is now taking 12 months to produce the same. It's compressing time. So we're going to have to evolve faster as business owners. We have to evolve faster as business owners. So we've got to be able to change our thinking in order to change our results. We need to create things on purpose, by design, not haphazardly. In order to do that, we have to increase our capacity. We have to modify our ability. When you come to this training, is your glass half full? Is it half empty, or is it completely full? Because if it's completely full, none of this is being absorbed. Right? None of this has any relevance on your business. Right now, you're saying that's not true. People aren't shopping online. Showing pricing is contradictory to what I've always done. No one's going to buy an air conditioning system on the internet. Oh, they might look for it. They might only deal with the ones. Right now, your capacity to change could be completely impacted by the load you think you're carrying. Things are too complicated. My resources are too much of a pain in the tail. My responsibility as a business owner is too much. So my capacity stays the same. The load drags me down. And I constantly am busy being busy. We have to choose. When you come to these trainings, as you go through these different webinars with everyone, choose to come in with an empty glass. Choose to alter your capacity. Choose to change how you think. This process to be able to grow a business, it's a combination of these three things. Do you have the desire? How bad do you want to grow your business? Do you have the competence? Do you know how to grow your business? Or do you have the right people? Did you hire your neighbor because they're local? Did you hire a volunteer to market your business? Did you get your nephew out of high school? Are you dealing with friends, family, and fools? Are they competent? Do they have experience? Or do they just provide you with comfort that it's not going to cost a lot, or that they're local? And capacity. Do you have the capacity to change? You see, each one of these elements, if we're missing one, typically that means that if we have the desire and we have the capacity, but we don't have the competence, that means we're doing things poorly. If we have the capacity and the competence, but we don't have the desire, that means we're avoiding doing what we need to do. If we have the desire and the competence, but not the capacity, we're late. So as we go through this, thinking through each one of these elements, the chicken or the egg is constantly going to be a conversation that you're having in your mind. There is no perfect version of this. For example, is it brand or is it website? That's tough. There are going to be some things you need to do simultaneously, which means you might launch a properly designed and developed website right now because speed matters. You need time to get on page one of Google. You need time to produce a lot of content. Whereas your brand might not be perfect in the beginning because brands evolve. If you don't know who you are, if you don't have your mission, your vision, your purpose identified, if you haven't figured out your unique selling proposition, if you haven't figured out what makes you different than everyone else, then you may launch a website with a brand that's not set, that's just colors and a logo, that's superficial brand. And your brand will evolve over time. If you have an existing customer base that maybe you've neglected, getting a top of mind marketing program in place, re-engaging with those, it's much easier to get existing customers to do more business with you. Launch a new piece of functionality. Let all your clients know they now have the ability to sign up on your website to have their filters automatically shipped to their home at their own convenience. Right? Each one of these things, there's no perfect rationale, but there is rationale behind the proper logic for implementing these elements. We have to remember that our beliefs that we have right now may or may not be serving us well. A belief is an acceptance of a statement that something is true or that something exists. It doesn't mean that it's truth. So going through your principles and figuring out what principles are outdated or inaccurate. If my logic says consumers consumers don't buy online, or consumers hate chatbots, or that I can build my business on a spreadsheet and then be fine. If I don't need if my belief is, well, my dad always used paper, I'm going to use paper. That's how we've always done it. Is that serving you well? If I asked you to find invoice 10457, can you find it lickety split? Does it have the ability to search via online, or do you use sifting through paper? Our blind spots could be preventing us from moving forward. Our perspectives could be preventing us from moving forward. Those distinctions between the beliefs, the principles, the blind spots, and the perspectives that are outdated or inaccurate could be causing massive strife in our lives and in our business. Remember when grandma used to say, finish everything on your plate? Is that a good thing to finish everything on your plate? No, obviously not. The world is obese, right? All of these things that we've been told that are wives' tales, traditions, old school principles, outdated belief systems. Those could be the very things, the very distinctions that keep your business where it is, have your business moving backwards, keep your bank account where it is. If you're sitting in a position where you're not financially secure, where you're not enjoying the fruits of your labor, you don't have money in the bank, you don't have time to take a vacation, if you can't leave your business for a month in the middle of summer and know that it's going to run, then we need to change some of the beliefs, blind spots, perspectives, and principles that have brought us to where we are. We need to create new distinctions. We need to reorganize what's in our head. We have to unlearn what we've been programmed to think. Remember that software is no longer serving you well. This is a new world. This is a new time and a new space, and it requires new thinking now. However you think today, it got you where you are today. Is it enough? Do you want something bigger? Applying reasons and rationale to that system and continuing to trudge along on that same track doesn't mean we're moving forward. Just means we're moving. Busy being busy. Not necessarily going anywhere. And I understand that it's easy to say, I'm busy, right? But be careful. Busy being busy, always moving, never going anywhere, feels like a rocking chair. If you feel exhausted, or like this is the same dang rodeo every single year, it feels the same way, it may be because what's been planted, the logic, the priority, the structure of what we're doing might be out of order. It might not have been the right tree to plant in your mind. So we got to rip it out by the roots. We have to seriously challenge ourselves and think about your decisions. Think about what we're doing in our business. And figure out if that wiring is helping progress us where we need to go or is keeping us where we are. Right now, you guys are attending a conference where there are a tremendous, amazing group of coaches, mentors, trusted colleagues, and resources. Everything that Johnstone Supply has pulled together for this event is outstanding. Now's the time to take a look at who's leading you, who's guiding you, and start asking the right coaches the right questions. Right? Not everybody. I was at an event. It was a conference last year in Florida, and I was listening to a panel discussion. And one of the audience member, a heating and air conditioning dealer in the audience, he asked them, what should they do about negative reviews? And the guy said, delete them. And he asked him, what should I do about positive reviews? Can I place the positive review on a whole bunch of different sites? And he said, use this software because it'll allow you to delete negative reviews, and you can take your positive reviews and publish this duplicate content around every single website you have and social media site. Everything about those answers was inaccurate. Duplicate content issues, transparency issues, violating Google's requirements about reviews issues, everything was inaccurate. So make sure we're asking the right people the right questions. In order for us to get real change, we have to figure out what we're rooted to and sometimes rip it out of the ground. These belief systems, we've got to make sure that we are seriously changing how we think. Now, this creates a challenge. When you're trying to evaluate how to do the right things in the right order at the right time, this is a massive factor in that. We got to figure out where we are and be very honest with ourselves about which one of these boxes we are living within. The first box, this is about awareness and consciousness. Unconsciously unaware. This means, I don't know. I didn't even know I was supposed to know. Totally not sure. What do you mean? I don't know. This is a state of ignorance. Consciously unaware means I totally know I don't know. I don't even know if I know what I should know, but I know I don't know. Right? Unconsciously aware. I'm going to leave that to you. And consciously aware. This means I absolutely know I don't know. And I am going to ask as many questions as I can until I figure it out. I am consciously aware that this is something I need to know. I'm consciously aware that I need to learn. Tell me this. What questions am I not asking right now that I should be asking? That is the perfect mindset for someone who is sitting in a space of conscious awareness. We're all in these different phases at different times. The idea is to not be in this space blindly. To be consciously aware that I don't know doesn't mean you're being taken advantage of. This is a place of strength. This is not a place of strength. So the mindset required to take advantage of all life has to offer is and complete accountability. Complete accountability is owning who you are, who you've chosen to be, owning the choices you've made and the results of those choices, owning the decisions you select or fail to select, owning the actions you take or the actions you failed to take, and owning the results you get or the results you didn't get. In this complete accountability, when we stop blaming others, when we stop making excuses, when we stop rationalizing garbage and BS, and we start owning these, then we can create change. Then we can start truly looking at implementing the right things in the right order at the right time. Because there are 4 constants in life. Change, that is a constant. Truth, it either is or it isn't, like gravity. Time, absolute constant. And choice, our decisions. These are the 4 constants. Everything else technically could be an excuse, a belief, a perspective, a distinction that may or may not be truth. Truth is that which is in accordance with fact or reality. Time, you can't modify it and you can't get it back. Whatever happened last year, happened last year. We cannot squander our time. Remember the tape measure. We have to make choices that are going to help us compress time. We have to open new doors. We have to wipe clean the slate of everything that we may have done previously that has gotten us where we are, but not where we want to be. We have to be consciously aware of those choices and take ownership that they're ours. Now, we're going to pause on this and I'm going to move back here. Infrastructure. If money grew on trees. Okay, and I know that it doesn't. So is this reality to start on the left, work your way down and keep working your way down? No, it's not at all. But you need some savvy business people to help you figure out how to strategically juggle these as carefully and selectively as possible. So can you get away with launching a website without a privacy policy and copyrights and all of those? Technically, you can. Should you for long? Technically, you should not. So do you need to put that as an earmark where you put a few $100 aside to be able to get the legal things in place? Absolutely, you should. Should it keep you from launching a website? Absolutely, it should not. Launch, earmark, market, get it done. Can you launch your business with a spreadsheet to avoid a monthly fee of less than $100 for QuickBooks online? Yes. If you chose QuickBooks offline and you're regretting it right now, wishing you were in online, can you make the switch? Yes. Right? Okay. Each one of these elements is wildly important. Having the legal documents necessary for W-2s, 1099s, your HR policy, your recruiting process, making sure you have a privacy policy, copyright, and other requirements that are necessary from a legal standpoint on your website. Yes, you need those legalities. Your QuickBooks account, making sure it's online, making sure you have a proper payroll program. Make sure you have a chart of accounts as soon as possible. We provide this absolutely complimentary. And your chart of accounts, that if you need to get QuickBooks set up or you need chart of accounts, let us know. We can hook you up with a company that can set all this up for you. Do you need a chart of accounts that's set up properly? Yes, because redoing this stuff later really sucks. And having your financials without having the proper codes to set up for them causes you to struggle making decisions to put the right things in the right order at the right time. Making sure you have the ability to take on credit cards, that you have online credit card processing. That's something we can set up very easy. Setting up subscription systems, that's something we can set up easy. Why? Because people will gladly give you a credit card and let you take money in order to have, like I said earlier, time, money, and freedom for themselves. Put them on a maintenance agreement. Do you have a CRM system, a customer relationship management system? Do you offer financing? If not, get it done. Matt Brastis has a webinar on here. Jump on that. Do you have your relationship set with your manufacturer? Are you loyal to Johnstone Supply? Are you connected to them and engaging in that relationship and making sure you leverage all the benefits of them? Staffing, your training programs. Next, branding. Do you have a vision statement, mission statement, purpose? Do you know who your ideal client is? Do you know what's important to them? Do you know what they like? Do you know what your ideal target market is? Yes. Do you have a properly designed logo? Is it transparent? Is it a vector file? Do we have the ability to stretch it, put it on a dark background, light background? Does it have a word mark? Does it have an icon? Do you have a favicon? All of these elements about just a logo, right? Do you have your email hosting set up? Is it something you can access from anywhere, like G Suite, where I can access it on my phone, any device or any computer? Or is it limited on one computer on a server in my office? And is it causing me to struggle in my business? Do I have a website that is helping me get more customers or pushing people away when they get there? Is it scaring newcomers? Is it part of my sales process? How are my social media sites? Are they accurate? Are they updated? Do I have content on a regular basis? Or when someone visits them, do they think the business closed in 2014? Do I have business cards that help drive people to my website? My trucks, my building, my shirts, my promise, my promotion, my unique selling proposition. Do I have something that makes me different than everyone else? What can I commit to? Do I have my website and my technology set up? VoIP lines, your proper domain, servers, hosting, email hosting, Google Apps, your SSL, security, your content delivery network, your content management system. Is your website mobile first? Do you have AMP in place? Is it designed properly? Is it designed currently? Has it been redesigned in the last 2 years? Is it developed on current framework and technology? Do you have strong administration team managing those updates for you? Do you have all the analytics you need to be able to determine what's working, what's not, what's next? Do you have reporting that helps you get what's working, what's not, what's next? Do you know where your website ranks for each individual search term that's on your website or page on your site? Do you have content by service, by product, by brand, by city, by community, by promotion, by season, by customer profile, by frequently asked question, by problem, by service, by page? Do you have content added monthly? Do you have images that are yours? Do you have video? By unique selling proposition? Do you have content by individual room that you take care of, such as garages and attics and basements and houseboats and vessels and Florida rooms and so forth? Do you have content by business, whether it's a medical office or a church or a gas station or a fourplex or duplex or apartment community or a strip mall? This content piece, you cannot market to something that does not exist. If your website doesn't have content, you can't market there. So if your website doesn't have content, you can't do marketing. It doesn't exist. Can't market something that doesn't exist. You can't convert without something that people are willing to use. So have you focused on conversions? How are you converting? Are you tracking all of your calls? Are you listening to those conversations that are taking place with your CSRs? Are you listening in on those phone calls to see if you're providing the absolute best customer service, that you're listening and caring? Are you allowing consumers to text? Are you allowing them to fill out web forms? Are you allowing them to shop online? I've got another session in a couple days. Go check out the next session under breakouts. It's under IAQ, actually. It's under IAQ. Go check out the e-commerce session. Are you allowing them to sign up for a subscription, online scheduling? Are you allowing them to chat with a bot any time of the day? AI just means that it works without humans, so you don't have to have somebody working for it to work. Do you turn on custom chats when you have staff in the office? Do you allow people to take a quiz, troubleshoot their issues, calculate their savings, shop online, get pricing, submit a review, sign up for a newsletter? Are you marketing? What are you marketing? Are you marketing your brand name? So if you get a referral, they can find you by your company name. Are you marketing for services you sell, products you sell, brands you sell, cities you serve? Frequently asked questions, seasonal, promotional, video. If you notice, content and marketing are almost identical because you have to have content in order to market it. So if this doesn't exist, this doesn't need to be invested in. Don't spend money on something that doesn't exist. And then finally, once you have all these organics done, are you advertising? Are you advertising? Do you take those extra dollars and do you use them to ramp up your lead generation efforts? So marketing is going to be, that's going to give you consistent lead flow, consistent visibility, continued growth in your marketplace. Advertising is like your power move. It gives you the ability to scale, drive up leads, drive down leads based on resource leveling. Google local service ads, Facebook boosting, Facebook ads, pay-per-click leads, pay-per-leads. Have you checked out the Leads XM program where you can pay $150 per installation lead and they're all yours. They're all exclusive. Retargeting, display, pay-per-call, event sponsorships, YouTube, advertising, TV, radio, billboards, community. If you are launching your business and then driving all of your money into advertising, we're not doing the right things in the right order at the right time. Okay. Marketing are things that provide permanent compounding interest impacts on your business. Advertising is where you're burning and churning cash, but when you run out of money or the campaign ends, you're exactly where you started. So if you launched a business and you went straight from, I'm going to launch my business and get a website, and then I'm going to burn through my money in advertising, you're always going to be on fire. You're always going to be panicking that you don't have enough leads. You're always going to be panicking that you're burning through cash. There's this ebb and flow with your business where it's complete sheer and utter panic because you didn't focus on the middle, which is the organic positioning, making sure that your website has permanent assets that are properly positioned in front of consumers searching online who don't want to click on ads. Those are the businesses who are the strongest. The ones who rank for every kind of search term that a consumer would look for in every city that they're willing to serve. And then they use that excess money, they use their extra cash flow to ebb and flow, blow up their leads, slow them down, bring in more leads, slow them down as filler. So with that, you guys, I hope that this is helpful in really at least thinking about how we as entrepreneurs, how we think when we're being haphazard versus how we think when we're being strategic about how to implement the right things in the right order at the right time. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Of course, there is much more of the presentation. Feel free to go through that. We've only went through 19 minutes of the presentation or 5 minutes of the presentation. There's still 19 to go. You can feel free to go through that. And if you guys are interested in getting more information or getting help, CI Web Group is the preferred digital marketing agency, web design company for Johnstone Supply, as well as Amana. We would be happy to get together with you and talk a little bit about where you guys are, where you want to be, and what it's going to take to get there. With that, I'm Jennifer Bagley signing off. You guys click on meet with a virtual consultant or connect with me. You can get with anyone on our team. They're also participating on the platform. So feel free to go up to activities or members and look for our CI Web Group team, and you guys connect with them directly or myself. And other than that, I look forward to seeing you on the next sessions. Don't miss them. I've got one each day. So you can go back to IAQ, business tools, as well as sales, and we have a different presentation for each day. So thanks again so much for attending. Appreciate it.